Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX discussion. And I salute brother, sister, family, general that's just doing what we have to do as a human being and being that spiritual being that great divine has caused so many of us to be. You know, but as we say, got to go deep within to find that great part of ourselves so we can get to the solutions and see a better way. And as I heard from a reel recently, greater vision, you know, and thank those that's been riding along, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view. I salute you and thank you because as we all know, it can be challenging in these times. And, you know, and as I like to say, we're in a more hyperactive world, but stay with it, you know. And as I always like to say, you know, I hate to sound like a broken record, but, you know, we as humans, we don't know what's coming down the road, but we cling to that divine force and keep studying and seeking that great divine always and forever ever will know. Stay attached to our families and stay away from all toxic distractions, person, place, thing, you know, and just connect with our ancestors and always reflect on how powerful our ancestors were with little with nothing. You know, that's powerful, you know. And we have that power today. So thank our ancestors that were generals, brother, sister, family, you know, salute far and near. Never forget them, you know. The body may lay to rest, brothers and sisters, but the spirit lives on. And it's living amongst the many great warriors out here today, you know. The good old mental. When our mental is strong, nothing could F with us, you know. And the levels never run out. We keep going, you know, as young general or older general. It's wonderful when we're in the space of learning, whether young brother, young sister, or older brother, sister, you know, be that general that's inside all of us, you know, just tap into it and take our realm serious, which is a topic we're going to get into. And as you can see on my thumbnail and or banner, you know, we got Mr. Chakra here, you know, and the heart chakra, as you see, we're going to speak on, and this is part 4. And I said I was going to come back. I've done the other 3 chakras, and I'll put 2 of them in the end screen. And the first video I did was with this same banner and the thumbnail, because I said I was going to do these so often, show a graph, the body with the chakras in it, so people can kind of get an idea and see what the chakras are, because it's wonderful to see it, to visualize it, as I heard some advice, actually from a young brother in one of these reels. I want to kind of touch on that too. And I had another kind of a side note, not really hip hop, but something that relates to it that my son and I spoke on. I'll get to that in a minute. But I said I was going to show a graph like this from time to time, just so people can get an idea of where the chakras are in our body. And I like to say from the root chakra to the heart chakra, those chakras in between that area, that's where all the battles are fought. That's where the most hardest things are formulated, and we either lose or win in this space between the root chakra and the heart chakra, because you got from the root, of course, as I read on the root chakra podcast, the root chakra is the most important of all the chakras, hands down, facts. And why is that? Because it's the foundation of our mind, body, and soul. So that's where the battle begins. And again, as I like to say, it can go a lifetime. There are a lot of challenges right here in our part of our body, from that root chakra, and see, it's the solar plexus. I'm trying to remember all of them. I can't remember, but it's from the first chakra to the 4th, right in that area right there is the most hardest battles are fought. Some more challenging than others. Again, some of us different walks, different ways of being raised, whether mental or spiritual, just different ways, different conditionings, all over the world, but just in different levels, different stages. Some get to a place of awareness sooner, some get there later. But it's wonderful when we get there, but don't wait too late. It's wonderful when we are in a place of peace and not naive and on fire for knowledge. I'm talking about good knowledge, something that'll help ourselves, children, family, significant other. I'm trying to remember what that other chakra is. I got it on, it's on my channel because I've done 3 so far. But I know it's the root chakra, the solar plexus is the 3rd chakra. I'm trying to remember what the 2nd chakra was. I can't remember. If I remember it, I'll speak on it in this here podcast here. The heart chakra, this is now, when we get to the heart chakra, it's still part of that battle. You know what I mean? This is where we take our realm very, very serious, because, what we developed over the years as family, brother and sister, it's all like data, and it's in our heart, so this is where everything is filtered through. And, before it gets to the rest of our chakras, which is, like I said, this journey can be amazing, but there are also battles in this journey. And if, many of us have experienced in this life. And it's good to get in a space when you're on the outside of the matrix, so to speak, because that's the only way to see deep into the core of ourselves, and really take our inner realm serious and our outer realm, like my banner here. See how the ripples are coming from his body, or the being's body, because we won't say it's just a graph. See how the ripples are coming from the body on, working its way out. That's kind of where I get the concept righteous ripple effect. And of course this can work the opposite way when you're toxic within. This is the ripples you're sending out, and it's just a matter of time when it come back. Whatever we put out, we hear this a lot, is what we get back, of course. So this banner here is a perfect example of that. If you could see the little ripples coming from the body. So when we practice on good things within, this is what it looks like. Righteous ripple effect. I always say, from that great divine, it comes from ourselves, children, family, work our way out, to the world, but it always gonna come down to coming within. We all have different perspectives and different advice, but in any event, we all want to get that same goal, just to have peace, live our life, be aware, keep our loved ones protected, and in our spirit, we all pretty much want that. We just, again, come up through different ways of thinking, being taught, but it's basically the same goal, just being connected as one, as brothers and sisters and family off top, through that great divine mama nature in that universe, but just having peace overall. That's pretty much the same goal for everybody, in one's perspective. But everyone has their own perspective in different ways, but it's all how we look at it, as an individual. What's in our heart? That heart chakra, that's what it comes down to. Whether it comes to music, we conversing in life, and we just trying to be a good human being, or we trying to step over into that deep spiritual world. Whatever we're trying to do, craft, gift, sing, send positive energy out to brothers and sisters, our family, whether we have a platform or not. Whatever we're doing in life, spotlight or not, what's in it always come down to what's in our heart. So again, this is where the most hardest battles are fought. And give me a moment, because I want to see what that other chakra was. Let me see, because I gotta know. This is why we do this too. Like I said, reading and stuff like that, it sharpens the cognitive functions, and especially when we get up in levels of awareness or age, because that is a reality. Some things deteriorate, as we get up in age. So we study ourselves to keep ourselves sharp. Sacral chakra, that's the 2nd chakra. Excuse me, couldn't remember it. It was a podcast I did, and I showed nature in it, because I think that's a very important part of connecting with nature. That helps our chakras too. So this one's opinion and perspective, because again, it was a time where I didn't even think about nature and exploring and the universe and all that stuff. But I know it sounds all cosmic, but when you're learning it and you see the results of, things we do to help our body, our immune system, it's wonderful. We can almost educate ourselves. We don't have to lean on some doctor all the time. Some things some conditions we can't fix ourselves. Of course, we might have to go to the doctor, but it's good to be educated about one's body. So, because I like to say, so we'll know what the hell they're talking about when they're coming at us with all these big ass words. So it's just like a car, taking it to the shop. Got to be a little educated on it so you don't get ripped off and you know what's getting fixed and all that kind of stuff. So same thing with our body. And that's why we're getting into the heart chakra. And again, take our realm very, very serious. Our inner realm and our outer realm. And everything included in our outer realm, which is what? Children, family, significant other, and others we are connected to as brothers and sisters. I call them people who are not related to me that I've met in the world online. I call them God brothers and God sisters. And we talking about the real God now, not that false shit. Emphasis on that, because we're talking about the heart chakra. Ain't nothing to play with. Real talk. We only get one heart, one mind, one body, one soul, and one spirit. So again, take this realm serious, or take our realm very serious. Again, inner realm and outer realm. All right, now I want to go back to a side note that I had. We're going to get into the heart chakra, brothers and sisters. I thank those that has been listening, current subscriber, new subscriber. Appreciate you, those who've been listening, whether you react or not. Just listen. If you get something out of what I say, get something out of what I say, and my son Lord Lamont say, take that energy and pass it on to someone else. So, and keep your realm strong, protect your realm. Same things I want for me, I want for others. But everybody has a choice, to pick up that torch and be that lighthouse in the eye of the storm. Like my son Lord Lamont and I, we're being, doing, living, and knowing righteously, not knowing everything, just knowing. It's good to be in a place of knowing, not believing, as I learned from a great brother Kwaku, actually, salute. We have to know righteously, because knowing has foundation. You can believe anything, real talk. Two side notes. Okay, I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna get to the heart chakra, and I got a couple songs, of course. Gotta have some good music. It's good for our chakras too. So I'm gonna get to that. I got two side notes before I get into the heart chakra, and I'm gonna segue into protecting our realm too. I got a podcast about that, but taking our realm serious, and know that there is, a divine power out there, but we have to seek it out, and it'll seek us out. All right, first side note, I got a discussion my son and I had, because he likes playing the guitar and stuff like that, and we kind of spoke on rock and stuff like that, and we mentioned the artist Kid Rock, and spoke on him, and I was like, because I don't know him as an artist or nothing like that, but I remember saying, well, yeah, I thought Kid Rock was cool. But then I was listening to Willie D. He was speaking on Kid Rock to somebody. I think it was somebody that was on Tech Nine's label or some white guy. He had a mask on. But he said that, I guess not Chris Rock, excuse me. I did a podcast on him recently too, but I'm talking about Kid Rock. And I guess and I like Willie D, and I do think he's credible. And I guess, I don't know, Kid Rock did something racist, and that's something I didn't know. So I was just, cause if he on that racist shit, I ain't on that. Cause I was like, I thought he was cool. I ain't think he was. Cause I really don't know him as an artist. I don't, I'm not in that genre. So, but it's just somebody I seen in, on TV or whatever on social media. I thought he seemed pretty cool. Cause people could seem cool on the outside. But I heard Willie D speaking on him, and I guess, I don't know, maybe he done something racist or something, and Willie D didn't like it. So I have to listen to my brother Willie D, because I think he's pretty real and credible. So if people on that, I ain't with that shit. So if you heard me say that on the past podcast, I didn't know much about him. So I ain't with that racist shit. So that was just something I was tinkering around in one spirit, because we got to be real and raw out here. I ain't with that toxic shit. So, all right, that was just something that was in my spirit. Some of my son and I was discussing, but it wasn't really about him. He just came up. But we were just speaking on playing the guitar, so. And my son and I, we're gonna have a freestyle session today. He'll be over here a little later on. And that was just something that was tinkering around in my spirit, because I ain't with that fake shit. Real talk, All right, so let's move on. And I had another side note. Let me see. Yeah, I heard a young brother, which has some valid points, and he mentioned, everybody have their own perspectives, but he mentioned that not meditating doesn't help us in our body to accomplish our goals. I disagree with that, but we have to do what works for us, but of course it had to be something righteous. I mean, right? So, but I disagree with that, but but that works for me. That might not work for other people, but we disagree to agree and keep it moving. But sometimes we meditate. Meditation is just a word, but meditation can come through many ways. Sometimes we're meditating, we don't even know we're meditating. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking for a moment and clearing our mind or reflection, that's a form of meditation. We can meditate while we drive. Meditation isn't always like this graph I got on my banner, but that's good too. But that it doesn't always mean we're sitting Indian style with our eyes closed. No, meditation could be on your way to work. Could be sitting in the car quiet, because I find myself, that's my most quiet times when I'm driving. It's like I'm in my own little world. And I always play this game of watching how people drive, because sometimes how people drive says a lot about them. You see people rushing in and out and butting in front of people and cutting in front of cars. Those kind of people that drive like that probably have a chaotic life. So that's a form of meditation, So meditation is just reflection and getting into oneself and getting away from the hustle and, as we say, the rat race of the world. That's a form of meditation. So in some ways, we are meditating without even knowing it, whether we call it deep prayer or whatever. So I disagree with that, because in some parts of our lives, I think we do need meditation. Because this right here, me speaking, and again, it's not just having a podcast, but this right here is a form of meditation, because we're getting into our subconscious, our chakras, things we don't think about. So this is a lot of us that are content creators that take this journey serious, whether brother or sister. These are things we do when we're not speaking, but as my cousin, L'Oreal Lyrical, may she rest in peace and in power. Something she used to get on me about all the time. Why have divine gifts and not share it? So I kind of disagree with that, but the young brother did have some very valid points, and he was clear and true on a lot of stuff he said. That's just one part I didn't agree with, because some parts of our lives, we do need some form of meditation, because it helps to build anticipation. It helps us to focus on our impulses, helps us to think about things, when to step forward, when to step back. So I kind of disagree with that, but everybody have their own perspectives. But we got to remember, we all pretty much reaching the same goal, as I said a few minutes ago. Just to be in a place of peace, not even got to be this deep spiritual person, brother, sister, or family. Just having a peaceful life overall. Excuse me. Overall is the main goal, at least in my opinion and perspective, just being right off the bat, and everything else will follow. Excuse me. I do like to drink just a little bit of coffee. My throat, because your throat get a little dry when you be talking. All right, so that was just a couple side notes. We got to be real and honest with ourselves. Those are things that was tinkering around in one spirit. But just an example, brothers and sisters, whatever we got in our body, and that's just a small thing, but whatever it is, especially if it kind of bother us, speak on it or speak to one, get it out of ourselves, meditate, get into our solutions, and so we can blaze through challenges in this life, because being ready is always a beautiful thing, because when we are ready, we don't have to get ready, and that's mind, body, and soul, and in life in general. All right, now I'm going to give a presentation of the heart chakra. Then I'm gonna get into these songs, and we're gonna come back, and of course I got some reasons. I got a lot of information, because again, this is where the hardest battles are fought, between the root chakra and the heart chakra. What I say, the sacral and the solar plexus, those four chakras That's where I'm telling you, that's where the emotions are developed. This is where you become good or bad in between these chakras. And if you don't, if oneself, just my opinion and their theory, if one don't have themselves together, if they have control of oneself and they're healthy, brother or sister, family, by the time we get to that heart, determined on if we, fix things and errors in ourselves. Now, this could be over time now. We talking about sometimes over a lifetime of these things, these challenges that we have buried within, as well as the physical and responsibilities and accountabilities in our life too. But I'm talking about just little things that hide in our body, that only we know and that great divine knows. So we don't filter through things by the time we get to that heart chakra. It's like a fork in the road, then it make its way to the rest of our chakras, which we'll get to, so we better win the battles from the root chakra through the sacral and the solar plexus to that heart. Everything better be filtered by the time we get to that heart. All right. Again, take this realm serious, the inner realm and the outer realm. All right. All right. So let me see. Now I'm going to go through the introduction to the heart chakra. Then we're going to get to the reasons, because it's a lot of information. Then I want to play these couple songs. And the first one is, I played it before, but I think it's important. Can't be no one else. Impossible. Be yourself, with our quirks and all. But we got right in our heart. We in the right space as brother, sister, family. And the song after that is Where My General's At. And it's a dope song. It's an older song, but I thought it was dope. I came across it. I got excited. So I'm going to play that. All right. We're going to get to the introduction to the heart chakra. Let's go. Leaders and teachers. You know how I do it with a student spirit. Let's go. The heart chakra, also known as the Anahata, is Anahata. And Nahata is the fourth primary chakra in Hindu. Shakta is Shakta. Some of these words I never use, so forgive me. Shakta and Buddhist traditions, it's located at the center of the chest and is associated with love, compassion, and empathy. Remember, this is the battles right here, because empathy, you have to be careful with that empathy. It can be a naive empathy, because people take your empathy and use it against you, as well as kindness, all those things. This is where that kind of battle is fought. Like I said, filter through before we get to when we get to that heart. We better have our shit together. All right. It's located at the center of the chest and is associated with love, compassion, and empathy. A balanced heart chakra fosters a sense of emotional harmony, inner peace, remember that inner realm, and the ability to connect with others on a deeper level. Yep, that's dope. Like I always say, I might not speak a lot, I might not comment a lot. Whether in the world too, because the same way I act on social media, I do the same thing in the world. But I'm like a righteous sniper, a righteous ninja. When I say ninja, I mean not the like NIGGA ninja. I'm talking about a real ninja. That's what I am. I'm the kind of brother. I'll be there. You won't see me or hear from me too much, but I'll be there when you need me. When I can. So I'm kind of brother you don't ever have to worry about. And I like to support in my subtle ways. It's my own little joy. Without having to show people that I support them. I just do it. So that's what a deeper level means to me. When we just have love for one another without even having to show it. As I said, we can have unity. We can be unified spiritually, because everything begins with a thought anyway. So, and that's that's developed in that heart chakra. When we just have our own little victories no one else knows about. Again, that's the secret to connecting to that great, great divine. The victories no one sees. I go back to like volunteering. I spoke on it, and I do have videos, just to kind of, and I do it just to show evidence of, of what one does and stuff like that. Because it's wonderful connecting with the children, and it's beautiful. And, I think probably at the end, toward the end of the podcast, I got a audio of me volunteering in my son's classroom. I actually went yesterday, and I think today is their last day, but One love to the faculty, my son's siblings and his friends and stuff like that. Of course, his biological siblings. Salute to my biological children and my godchildren. It's been a wonderful road, and who would have thought? That's what I say. We'll never know what that great divine a place on our path, man, that just give us joy and one making us want to do it more. Sometimes we reluctant to what that great divine place on our path, but then we do it and we be glad we did it. Like volunteering. I'm pretty sure many people who volunteered, sometimes we get it in our spirit, like, man, I don't know if I can do this, or you be reluctant to do it. Then you do it and you enjoy it, through the ups and downs, and because we know how children can be, young brother, young sister, young male, young female, we know how children can be. But when we touch them in a righteous way in their heart, and man, it's beautiful, man. It's the most wonderful thing in the world when we connect with them and seeing our children light up when we show up at these schools. Our presence is, before we even speak, our presence alone is just powerful. Because again, I always like to say, never let me see what I used to say. Don't take our children's intuition for granted. They feel and sense things too, even when they don't understand, but they can sense things too. They know good in people, especially children these days. Very, very tapped in. We just, again, as adults, as parents, we just got to guide them in the right direction. They want to learn, they want somebody to show them that care. A lot of times that's all a young brother and sister want is an adult that cares. So, yep. All right. So I'm going to get into these songs. I'm still trying to remember the word I was trying to say about children's intuition. Let me see. When you get up in levels, that's what I say. The brain deteriorates. That's why we work on them cognitive functions, brothers. Underestimate. That's the word I was looking for. Never underestimate the intuition of a child or a young youth. Some of them just looking for love, just don't know how to get it, or how to show it. We gotta guide them, generals, and show them how to love, but a fierce love. Again, not a naive love. And like I said about the empathy, we gotta be careful. We gotta be sharp with our empathy, but never let toxic person, place, or thing take away that beautiful gift called empathy, because it's beautiful. It's wonderful to have. That's what keep us looking young, and to keep our immune system strong and focusing on our heart chakra. Again, man, please, I'm begging you, take this realm serious. Inner realm and outer realm. All right. Now, I want to get to these songs. And again, at the end of the podcast, I'm going to try to play it if I can find it. I'm going to play the audio of me volunteering at my son's school. All right, let me see. All right. Yep. Let me see. Nope. The first song is going to be Nobody Else. And I played this before, but just a little reminder, brothers and sisters. All right, hold on. I always gotta find it. Come on now. All right, brothers and sisters. First song, Nobody Else. And may that great divine be in our life. Protect us. Keep us prospering. Remember, we can't be nobody else but ourselves, even through our quirks and mistakes. And like I was doing just a minute ago, fumbling our words. What that do? It just remind us that we're humans and we're not fucking robots. Forgive me for cursing, but for real, we ain't no robot. Remember, nothing is more powerful than the human spirit, especially a divine human spirit. I don't give a damn what nobody say. We just got to tap into that powerful being that great divine has called all us to be. But I think why I know that great divine just want us to be ourselves, because that's what that great divine feeds off of, positive energy, and it just exudes us, and it just take us to a level that we never been before as brother, sister, family. So Nobody Else. Here we go.
EBX, generals, family, inside ourselves. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't wanna be nobody else. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't wanna be nobody else. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Don't ever try to be nobody else. Gotta go deep inside ourselves. Outside ourselves.
Let go.
A saluting on. I gotta stay strong. I'm positivity, man, on every song. It vibrating, yeah, all through my bones. I keep it that divine connected in my zone. I never stop, I will always rock. I straight through my soul on this here hip hop. All I see, man, I'm trying to be free. I see my kids and nothing but my family. I'm inside myself.
Yeah.
Don't wanna be nobody else.
Let's go.
Gotta go deep inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't wanna be nobody else. Deep inside ourselves.
Let's go.
I don't care what those that ever say about me. I do what I want and I flow across these beats. Staying away from the entities that's out here. I don't want us to breathe. I stay me, the only one that I can't be. I get to know thee, you can't call me E. And there's some wrong things. This is why I sing and I do this and I stay sane. Do stuff to make you smart in your brain. Yeah, do what you do and stay up in our lane. Never stop and never know giving up. Keep that divine in the soul. Keep looking up.
Inside ourselves.
Inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't ever be nobody else. Gotta go deep inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't ever try to be nobody else. Deep inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Keep on going on. Gotta stay strong.
Yeah.
Stay in that great divine zone. Man, we never ever be alone. Inside ourselves.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's
Don't
go.
ever try to be no one else.
Yeah.
Gotta go deep inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't ever try to. Don't ever try to be nobody else. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, family, salute.
Real talk, brothers and sisters. Inside itself, man, it's beautiful when we get to that space, man. But we have to experience it, you know. And again, see how when I filter through the different perspectives and how we think. See, I wouldn't never come off bitter. We ask questions. We come up with solutions and listen to each other's advice. And I heard from a great brother, and I'm gonna mention his name, brother Lance. Something he always used to say, we take the good, leave the bad, especially if it's coming from somebody, that pretty much got a good heart. Again, different perspectives, different advice, different ways of being raised, all that. But it's good when we can disagree to agree and focus on the real issue at hand, which is the enemy within. That's what we got to focus on, because things can hide in our body. I'm telling you, we experience this throughout our life, and only we know, That's why I said meditation. I kind of disagree with that. Again, we can be meditating, don't even know we're meditating. Getting into deep thoughts. Like I say, it's just a word. It's different ways, but everyone needs a moment to themselves, especially with work jobs, got family, because if you don't give yourself time to think, we miss things, when we just running. We have to slow down, whatever we call it. Take moments in our life to slow things down, get a perspective on things, get a grasp on things, so we can be in charge of our lives the best way one can, Get that human part of us right, go through all them chakras, and be the sharpest generals. Some of us are. We got some generals out here, real talk, family, brother, sister. We in the right circles, we'll know who the generals are, real talk. All right, so we're going to get back to the heart chakras. I'm going to play this next song. It's called My Generals. And we're going to get back into the heart chakra and, paying attention, taking our realm serious, Be back after this. Next song, My Generals. Let's go.
Yeah, to my generals, salute. Yeah. Where they at? This land, we about to take it back. Yeah. Where my generals at? Yeah. Where at? About to take this freaking land back. Yeah. Where at? Salute. My generals. Yeah. Where at? EBX. This land, we about to take it back. Yeah. My generals. Where at? There's too much shit going on. That's why I'm here, I'ma keep us strong. We gotta maintain, gotta keep our brain. Righteous things while we own this land. Man, we gotta see and keep our minds free. And watch the children in the family. This life gotta be, man, a righteous priest. Peace. Yeah, my generals. Where where they at? About to take this here land.
Take it back.
We're about to take it back to the generals. Where they at? Salute. Where at?
To my general.
This land, we about to take it back to the generals. Where at? Yeah, this land, about to take it back and keep on moving, yeah, and grooving, and never losing. I want you to make it too, and yeah, in this life, man, we never be through. I'm always trying to be a man so happy, even though sometimes I can be crappy, but that's okay. And yeah, I'm a lady, and I will always feel this way. I got that energy, I give it to you, and making sure, yeah, we see the truth. And yeah, a man try my best to have your back, and yeah, all my generals, man, where you at? Yeah, this land, and we're about to take it back.
Take it back.
To my generals, salute. Where at? And this land, we about to take it back. To my generals, salute. Where at? Salute. Yeah, we gonna take it back. This land, where at?
To my generals,
man, we about to take it back. To my generals, where at? Yeah, where at? To my generals, where at? Yeah, this land, and we about to take it back. Salute, my generals. Salute to my generals. Where at? Yeah, go crazy. Salute.
real talk. Salute. Wet. I love that song. I had so much fun making that song. Yep, that's my son, Lord Lamont, and you've been hearing music from him, of course. And we'll be, like I said, later on today, we're gonna have a freestyle session, and I don't know, it's not gonna be scripted or nothing. We just gonna get it in. I'm gonna pop on the beat, and we gonna get it in, you know, cause when you it takes, like I said, it ain't easy tapping into one's divine zone, but when we can, it's beautiful, you know. That's like my son, Lord Lamont said, Pops, I love when you tapped in, you know. He made me feel, I thank him for that, you know, and he can tap in too. He's learning. And, you know, he said that to me. He said he learned. I taught him, you know, thankful that we can teach our children. As I said a few minutes ago, when we guide them, he said out his own mouth, I taught him how to get into his zone. Because it takes practice, you know. As I said about me doing music, I've been writing and doing rhymes since the 90s. So it's embedded in me now. I can sometimes, again, when I'm in that zone, I have to, everything had to be filtered out, no distractions, it had to be quiet. Again, meditation, whatever we want to call it, that's when one comes into their zone. So that's what I do, like when I'm getting ready to speak or I'm doing music. I kind of go through this mental script, so to speak, you know, before I start speaking. I'm already in my head thinking about what I'm gonna say and all that stuff, and then it's like once we click that button, whether it's music or speaking, it's lights, camera, action, you know, like Mr. Cheeks, salute, lights, camera, action, sorry, Miss Jackson, and you click that button, it's on, you know. And many, especially melanated brothers and sisters, we have that in us. It's just something we can just tap into, and soon, and it's unscripted, and it's beautiful to do that. But it takes steps, takes practice, you know. Getting rid of as many old habits as possible, you know. I don't care if they say old habits die hard. We kill them habits the best way we can, you know, so we can get to that good part of us, you know, as brother, sister, family. So we can be generals when we're standing in that heart chakra. It's beautiful, man. I'm telling you, when we filter through all the crap in our life and get to a good space. Again, like I said, pretty much all of us reaching that same goal, you know, all over the world as melanated brothers and sisters, just to have peace, you know, just to live a stable life, whether financial, mental, you know, man, just being firm and being aware and being as healthy and as a general should be, brother, sister, family. All right. And I want to get over to, I got some more reasons on the heart chakra. I'll tell you, got a lot of information because I wanted a lot, because this is where I'm telling you the hardest battles are fought, between the root chakra and the heart chakra. This is where a person is developed. This is where, between the root chakra and the heart chakra, this is where we become who we are. You know what I'm saying? Whether good or bad. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I wanted to look up a lot of information. And again, for me too, you know, there was a time I didn't study the chakra. So I'm learning right with my leaders and teachers. with a student spirit. All right. But I got a side note. Speaking of development of creativity and gifts, as many of us have, remember, small or big. Now, a gift my son Ethan has, he's getting ready to start to play an instrument. It's called the French horn. And I mean, as well as all my biological children, you know, all of them have gifts in one way or another. I've seen it, you know. My son Ethan, I mean, he just one gift after another. It's just so many developments in him. And it's not just for me, his mom too, because she got gifts, you know. And it's just wonderful. And I'm just seeing them play out in his life. He just got so many things and so many things he wants to do. He's a thinker, you know what I mean? So be thankful if we have youth that are thinkers and you know, and somewhat going in the right direction, you know, in the mix of being young. Because, you know, when you're young, you know, some of us when we're young, I can't speak for all of us, but I would say most young youth, brother or sister, it's not easy to deal with one's emotions, you know, until they get to a space where they can understand, overstand, and understand. So again, that's why us as parents, brother or sister, male or female, be generals and be right there with them to guide them along the way. So even through the ups and downs, but it's beautiful. You know, when we connect with children, that's what make it all worth it. So that's why I say volunteering is a joy all in itself. You know, when I look at how the way of the world is, and, you know, it just feels good when we are giving to humanity and or culture, even in a small way. You know, you never know who we'll meet down the road or what'll happen. You know, something positive we did that we didn't even think about, just doing it because we love to do it. Down the road, it can be somebody that be, oh, I remember you, or I remember you did this. That's what make it all worth it. And that's that comeback thing, that putting out and coming back. That's when it makes it, man, that's when it's so rewarding and beautiful. You know, that righteous ripple effect. It's beautiful. I reiterate, start with that great divine, ourselves, children, family, work our way out. Like my banner here. See how the ripples coming from the body, working its way out. And we repeat the process. We keep it going and stay at general, because there's always room for improvement and there's always something new to learn. You know, always something we didn't know. You know, it's beautiful to be open for things to learn. You know, not open for everything, not naive, but just to learn. You know, so we sharpen our empathy. We don't become bitter, nothing like that. No, we just sharpen it. You know, we know who to give our empathy to and who not. You know, it's unfortunate, but that's a reality. You know, all right. So let's get to some reasons about how to balance our heart chakra. Let's go. We got a lot of information, so I'm going to run through them, and I'm going to salute you, brothers and sisters and family, on to your divine warrior life. Let's go. How to balance the heart chakra. Remember, I'm learning too. Okay. All right. Practicing love and compassion, cultivating empathy for ourselves and others through practices like loving kindness, meditation. All right. But everybody's path is a little different. But remember, in one's opinion, we're reaching for the same goal. And we're talking about a firm love, firm kindness, empathy. All right. Opening the heart through yoga. Now, this is just different ways. But again, we all have our own path. Long as it should be righteous, in my opinion. All right. Incorporating heart opening, incorporating heart opening poses like back bends. I've read it, and this is in other summaries or reasons in other chakras too. Like back bends can help, and I do this every day before work, releases tension and promote emotional healing. Like I say, we have to repeat the process. We have to stay consistent, you know. And the more we meditate and kind of stay in tune and work out and stretch our body, and do it over time, it'll become a habit. Our body will be, we can train our body to get used to, doing good things that help us and help our immune system. Our body will hunger for it. Like if I forget to work out or kind of take a little meditation, later on, I'll be like, it'll pop in my spirit. Oh man, I forgot to meditate. You know, we get used to it, and it helps us. It helps us to be ready before we walk out that door, you know, especially if we have a job. Because I always like to say, I've said it before, I say it again. We never know what we're coming into when we're coming into the job. We got to be ready on all fronts, because we never know what an individual, person, place, thing may have going on. You know, can't control them, but we can control us. You know what I mean? All right. Connecting with nature. We hear this a lot. And this will probably be an all chakra podcast. And a brother was just speaking on this recently, actually, and I've been speaking on it. And I'm just starting to really know how serious it is to connect with nature, not just sounding cosmic or nothing. It's beautiful when we do. And the things we come across and learn is beautiful. Now we hear many people say this now, so I want to make it like I'm taking something from somebody. It's something I'm reading. All right, connect with nature. It's a part of the heart chakra process. Okay, spending time outdoors can be grounding and rejuvenating. Now, for the heart chakra, again, many of us say this. It's something I'm reading. It's not nothing I'm copying or nothing. Okay, all right, this is just what it says. All right, let's move over to the next one. Using heart opening crystals. Now I don't use that. That's for those who like crystals. You know, I've never been into that. I don't know. See, rose quartz, green aventurine. These something I don't know. Rhodonite are known to support the heart chakra. That's for those who work with crystals and stuff. That's not my area, so that it's just another reason. Mindful breathing, yes, and I do this on the job. I exhale and breathe out real slowly sometimes, especially when it's maybe kind of tensed. All right, focusing on our breath can help ground you. Focusing on our breathe or how we breathe can help ground you and connect us with our heart center. You know, breathe in, breathe out. That's actually a song. Breathe in, breathe out. But yeah, it does help, because it relieves tension in yourself, because tension build up. Again, things that hide in our body. Breathing, speaking, because speaking, we exhale, we breathe. You know, whatever is tantalizing us or bothering us in our psyche or subconscious, whether physically, mentally, or the deep spiritual, deal with it on the spot best way we can. You know, keep it in our mental file. All right, we got a little small reasoning on chanting. I don't know about chanting, but it's a practice. The YAM chant can promote inner peace and open the heart. You know, I don't know about the chanting thing. But it's got to be righteous. But that ain't my thing. That's just another reason. All right, we got 5 more reasons, key aspects of the heart chakra. Location, center of the chest. We know that. Meaning unstruck or unhurt. In Sanskrit, representing a state of openness and vulnerability. You know, depending on what it is. You know, when it says vulnerability, it's like when we're speaking and stuff, kind of relate to others that may be going through things and show them how we came through the fire. So that's kind of our vulnerable side, but that connects with that empathy. We have to know who deserves our empathy and who's just using us, you know, and taking our empathy for weakness. Because again, kindness is not a weakness, folks. It's a choice. So those who are taking people's kindness for weakness is something wrong with them, especially if they're healthy, mind, body, and soul. We only get one of each. All right. Energy. Good energy, good positive energy in our heart chakras governs emotions, you know, good emotions of love, compassion, and good empathy, good sharp empathy, and giving those who are deserving of it. Balanced state, open to receive. You know, we don't shut everything off. Be open to receive, keeps us balanced. And not missing out on those who do, you know, not just speaking on that platform, but, you know, just so we can be open for those who do, you know, want our love, who generally, you know, do need help and do have something circumstantial and do need help or something like that. Because it's good to help, because that's that energy thing. We put out what we get back. But, you know, as we learn ourselves, our intuition gets sharper and sharper and sharper. Again, that's why I say, take this realm serious. Take our realm very serious. And don't forget, you know, because I have help. I've had people help me, whether family, brother, sister, friend, you know. Don't forget those that help us too. I mean, you know, I think that's important, you know. That's what kind of keeps us, we have some sense of humbleness, you know. But again, as we all know, those who are standing firm, you know, on a good foundation in one's life, our discernment is sharp. We know who the real ones are, and we know who the fake ones are. We get to a point where we don't split hairs. We know who they are, because we take our realm serious. Inner realm and outer realm. All right. Open to receiving and giving love, experiencing genuine connection. And that's either spiritually or physical. And having a sense of emotional well-being. It's beautiful, you know. Imbalanced state can manifest as difficulty, trusting others, fear of intimacy, social anxiety, and feelings of loneliness or isolation. Now, this is the hardest battle right here, because this is a battle I went through. You know, we have to define, because I love solitude, but it's kind of walking on a fine line, you know, and being in solitude, because it is good, but we have to be careful because we don't want to isolate ourselves from the world too much. We do want to socialize, like I said, volunteering helps. You know, spending time with loved ones when we can. That's something I got to work on. You know, I'm talking about, you know, my family and children. You know, it's good to do those things. It lets us know that we're human, you know, and not trying to be known or get value, whether it's in line or in the world. You know, when it's real and not superficial. Even if we like met someone online and we haven't spoke to them, still keep that right in our heart, that spiritual connection. Remember the connection, because again, folks, I say so many times, we never know what's going to come down the road. That's why we be as righteous as we possibly can in the world, online, as brother, sister, and family. And I say online because we're in a social media world. So again, this right here, the heart chakra, from the root chakra to the heart chakra. It's where we learn our emotions, our intuition, our impulses. And that can be online, because as we know, as I like to point out, just look out over in the world in general, but social media especially. Toxic impulses are out of control with these comments and stuff like that. Like, I've got brothers and sisters that I watch still today that I haven't commented. You know, I'm just using, you know, platforms as an example, because I know how a lot of stuff goes on in comments and people doing stuff and saying shit and what they call them, gangster keyboard, what they call, I forgot the name they used to have. Gangster keyboard typer, some shit. You know, when people say things, and that's why I don't do that. You know, even if it's something I don't agree with someone, I don't go on social media and bash them, because it could come back on you. Because I'm a very firm knower of karma. You know, when we as brother, sister, family have experienced a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas, we begin to pay attention to our intuitions and our impulses, you know. And again, but we in the right circles, we'll know one's heart, you know, whether brother, sister, or family, in the world, online. So again, sometimes we don't know what could come down the road. So if we're saying something wrong to an individual or some kind of crazy comment, what if we run into them? Then we're looking all crazy because we said this crazy shit online. So that's why we shouldn't do that. And try to connect with a brother and sister, especially if they got a good heart and they put the work in. We know they're real. Even brothers and sisters, because those I'm connected to that do have platforms, some of them stay in Africa. And I think that's beautiful. Shoot, some people don't know how valuable that is, being connected to someone who's literally standing on African soil. That's beautiful, because I've never been to Africa, but I love Africa. You know, I always hold Africa in one spirit. I got a necklace. I got it's got the Africa on. It's the, you know, the map, not the map of it, but Africa, the continent itself, and I wear it every day, you know, faithfully. You know what I mean? So like people wear those crosses, I wear an emblem of the Africa, you know, and I got it in some videos. You'll see it on my neck. And yeah, I wear it faithfully every day. And actually, to be honest, a Caucasian girl, because I work at a restaurant, you know, I'm a cook slash chef, because some people call me chef. But she was a DoorDash. No, she was coming to get it to go, and I was putting the food up on the counter. She says, "Oh, I like your necklace." I always get comments on it, so I always carry Africa with me. And I'm bringing that up because people in these comments, and they say things, and they don't know the value they have in a brother and sister that's speaking from Africa, literally standing on that soil. That's very valuable. Some people take that for granted, so that's why we have to learn to listen to. You know, we got to the righteous generals that may have platforms, and some of them that have platforms are also doing things in the communities too, because salute to those who are putting it down in the community, in the world, online. So we got to hold value for that. And things like this come in a form of meditation. Whenever we get those moments to ourselves, when we think and get to the bottom of that barrel, bong, I like to do that because that's an analogy I like to use. But the bottom of the barrel to the pit of that soul, even through the disagreements and agreements, but when we get to the real core of the real issue, the enemy within and the evil entities that are enemies around us, that's what we got to focus on. Those that don't want us to have that connection, especially a spiritual connection, because they can't stop a spiritual connection. They might can interfere and interrupt and distract us from having a physical, but they can't do nothing to the spiritual. So that's what I mean about the comments people say and the gangster keyboarders. You know what I'm saying? It's utterly ridiculous, because I've learned some wonderful things along this path. Look what it's led me to. There's many others, brother or sister, general. Look at what has led us to just doing the right thing off the bat before we even get to the deep spiritual. That's the icing on the cake. The divine spiritual and learning about nature and that universe, that's the icing on the cake. So if we got our human side right and little quirks and errors, those that the errors and quirks that we don't need, old habits, when we finally get rid of that shit, man, you tell me what can stop us as a general and those who are in control of their heart chakra. So those were some things I had in my soul, and thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX discussion. And I knew this was going to be a long one. A lot of information. It's a lot of things, the battles we have from the root to the heart chakra is not easy. And I say it a lot, but it's so very true. It can take a lifetime to get to a place of balance in one's life. That's why I say, as brother and sister, family, study our chakras. I think that's a wonderful way to get to know ourselves, our physical selves and our spiritual self, because we only got one body, one mind, and one soul. So we just got to know this as brothers, sisters, and generals. We only got one psyche. We got two ears for a reason. We got to listen as much as we speak, because I like to say, when that great divine tell me to speak, I speak. But when that great divine tell me to shut up, I shut up. I listen to that force, so we can be like the ripples on my banner here, so they can be righteous, strong ripples coming out where nothing can penetrate. Man, that strong foundation that many of us are standing on. Some of us have been through some fires, man. I'm telling you. I've heard the stories. I got some of my own, as well as Lord Lamont, my family, man. Some of us got some war stories, but we here. And to teach others, to fight through their fires. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is impossible. Only our thinking, Again, take each other's perspectives and take the good out of there and just keep forging forward, So that great divine can make us all shine, And study our chakras, the heart chakra. It's beautiful. And if we don't kill toxic things within ourselves before we get to the heart chakra, our heart can go dark, and we've seen it in celebs and maybe in our personal lives. And it's sad in some cases, and when we see potential in a brother or sister and they just cock it all up and then spend all their latter years fighting back all that energy they wasted and just gave away, And when we get one body, one mind, one soul, it's important. I know I keep saying that, but it's so very important. We learn these things on this walk, So as I said before, I say again. So thank those for coming in to another chakra podcast and study of the heart chakra. And I'll be back with the 5th chakra. And the heart chakra is green, represents green. And every color has a purpose. And I've talked about a couple of colors. I think red, purple, and it's beautiful. Everything that comes from that great divine mother nature, we learn this on this walk too. Has a purpose, brothers and sisters. Nothing is here by chance, not even us. We learn these things, Once we learn that we are here for a purpose, we just got to find out what it is. That's what make life magnificent. That's when our pineal gland open, and that's when them righteous things just flood in, and we just want to learn more and more and share it to others. Build that realm. Take it serious. So again, thank those for riding along. Current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, whatever part of the world that we are in. Man, may we keep that ultimate peace. Brother, sister, family, general, and whatever we do, man, while we fighting against evil entities in this life, man, take our realm serious. Inner and outer. You know what I'm saying? And stay focused on that heart chakra. Stay loving within. Let nothing make us bitter. Stay strong. As warriors out here. Salute.